Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR, and here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for, let's check that, sorry about that, it's for Tuesday, the 9th day of February. Here we go. Today's halacha is this. We have been telling you some laws about minyan, and I want to continue along on that track. When you're having a minyan, let's say you're having one in a house, so sometimes it happens that you have the people, not all fitting in the living room where the minyan is, and some have spilled over into a different room and they're all hearing the minyan, and it's all supposedly one minyan. Well, lechatchila, that means in the first best way to do things, it is best to try to have all the people who are in a minyan to be in one room. If you got a few people in this room and a few people way over in another room, they could hear everything. It's not the best way to set up a minyan. Now, whether it actually works, b'di'evad, that means after the fact if you did it. So some rabbis allow it, and you should speak to your rabbi if you know that you have a weird situation such that you're davening in a certain setting where some people are in different rooms during the minyan. A mechitza for the ladies to be on the other side of the mechitza, that's not considered a problem. It's not like they are not at the minyan. But you see, the thing is, when men are setting up a minyan and they're in a house, some are in a dining room, some are in the living room, that could present itself as a problem. So if you are in such a situation, speak to a competent rabbi about how to set that up best. Now, something I'll tell you, it's just kind of a practical piece of advice, not exactly a law, I'll tell you what I mean. Sometimes you start a minyan and it's really small, and there's 12 people there, and 1 or 2 or 3 of them drift out during the repetition of Shemona Esrei, so that if you take a careful look around, you're like, hey, we don't have a minyan. So you actually learned with me about 2 weeks ago that if a minyan started with 10, sometimes it's okay to continue even when you dribble down below 10, but you don't want to have that happen lechatchila at the first. Best way to set it up. Try not to have that happen, because it's always best to have 10 people throughout, so make sure the people aren't walking around. Now, last halacha for you. If you're ever the chazan, and you look behind you, and you're about to start the repetition of the Shemona Esrei, and you see that there are just exactly 9 people there. Or let's say there's 10 or 11 or 12 people there, but they don't look like they're good listeners. They're going to like drift off, space out, or whatever. See one guy playing with his BlackBerry and you haven't even started yet. So sometimes it's good to do this. Say, God, if there are actually 9 or more listeners, as there should be, let this be the repetition of Shemona Esrei for them. If there aren't 9 listeners properly, then let this count as a tfilas nadava, a voluntary offering that I'm bringing to you. Only God will know which one is happening. But that is an option. You should speak to your rabbi also about how to use this option properly. You now know a little bit about it, and you can speak to your rabbis more about it. But that is an option which you might want to use if you ever see that you don't have 9 good or more listeners listening to your repetition of Shemona Esrei. If they're not listening, you're saying the brachas for nothing. You don't want that to happen to you. So you might want to use this option. Speak to your rabbi about it. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.